Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome aboard. I've got some spare time this morning, so I thought I'd take you for a trip through Twitter. Let's go see what's happening on Twitter today. Well, just this morning, anyways. It's morning here where I am. Yeah, the sun's out. It's looking good. It's looking great today. But let's go check. I don't have much time, but let's go run through a few things here. Yeah, okay. Well, James is off to a great start today, calling everyone commies, and he's on fire. Let's go through. It seems like there's a bit of an issue today with the ABC. Not external, but it seems to be coming internally. The staff there seem to be under the impression that they're operating at their best capacity they can possibly get out of 1.2 billion per year. So they would like some more. They would like some more money. They want some more tax money. You know, interest rates went up today, but yes, let's spend more on the ABC. Okay, well, it's filled with some hot takes. And Mike Williams, what are you watching here? Come on. Good one, Mick. Mick, sorry, dude. Charles Haig, once again. Yeah, well, look, this is a perfect example of the ABC. So, Christian Silver. I've got no idea who Christian Silver is. I've never seen him on. I've got no idea. I think like the ABC has so many staff that are just there, you know, doubled up for the sake of filling a role. I don't know. This dude might be cool. I'm not sure. He's a court reporter. Well, that's the start everyone wants and loves, and especially for the ABC. Like, what are they reporting on? How many times can Milligan go to court? Yeah. Anyways, here's the court reporter. What's he got to say? It's an honour to work for the ABC and to keep Australians informed. But those warm feelings don't pay mortgages and rent. Really? Okay, too many talented ABC staff are underpaid. We are calling for a better deal so that we can continue sharing stories that matter. Okay. Here's a court reporter. The stories that matter. Really, I think the other networks have got those covered as well. They're really there, and I'm sure this guy's he might be able to move through. And I think like the main issue for them at the moment is that they are public servants operating in an open market, and the market at the moment, especially in the media landscape, is it's fundamentally different to what it was in the 1950s. Today we have younger people. We have Leo, who's running 6 News, I think it is. He's doing it from home. It's a 14-year-old kid, and he's putting on a better show, and he's doing better political coverage than I'm not saying Christian, I'm not saying this dude, but most of them. He's out there and doing it. He's not receiving any funding. He's talented. He's doing it himself, and he's providing a great value, basically. People like it. People are enjoying it. And he's on the ball. So, okay, too many talented ABC staff are underpaid. If they were talented, they wouldn't be underpaid. It's that simple. If they were talented and they had talent, people would recognize that talent and they would pay for it. Just saying that it's a talented person doesn't mean that they're, you know, they're deserving of more government money. That's not how it works. That's not how the system works. Anyways, those warm feelings don't pay mortgages and rent. That's fine. That's great. I would have a little bit more, I think, a little bit more sympathy for these people if they didn't spend the last, 2.5 years actively promoting, lockdowns. How many businesses went under? Where was the ABC then? Where was the ABC when people were going to court for protesting? Where were they during this time? People lost businesses. People lost loved ones. And the lockdowns and the crazy COVID paranoia that swept, and it's still going. The ABC perpetuated a lot of that. I'm not saying all of it, but they, through Norman Swan and the host of the other crackpots that they get on, they perpetuated a lot of this stuff. So if we're saying talented, blah, 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 they're underpaid, well, go somewhere else. Start your own business. Start a stream. Do something. Get a podcast. If you're talented, people will pay for it. Anyways, let's continue on. Anthony Dillon, great guy. Love his work. Anthony Dillon's a fantastic account. If you guys aren't following him already. He's brilliant. Always great insights, and he's really on top of the current voice, but just in Indigenous issues overall. Once again, you will not hear a voice like Anthony Dillon on the ABC. You will not. You will not hear his opinion widely spoken on the ABC. If, for instance, they do happen to, by some mistake, get Anthony Dillon on the ABC, it would be adversarial. Sorry, it would be a very adversarial audience. His opinion would be, put as the outlier, the marginalized voice, and they would really attack it. So once again, follow Anthony. He's a great guy. And Michael, well, yeah, that's going on. Right now, okay, so what's Alway saying? Well, what's all this about? Right now, single parents can't access the full amount of leave. Two-parent families can. Yeah, because they're a single parent. There's not two of them. Right now, you want a single parent to have the same employment category, the same employment benefits as two people. What the fuck? That makes no sense. We've passed legislation that would change that. Oh, okay, great. So all the single mums out there, Labor's new fucking base. Well, that's great. Fantastic, Yeah, what's going on? Oh my God. Okay, let's continue. It hurts sometimes, people. This hurts me to do this. To scroll through my Twitter first thing in the morning and see shit like this. It hurts. Anyways, let's continue on. It is funny though. It is funny. Yeah. Coming into Eraring and the closure of these coal plants, that's a fast approaching catastrophe. And it's not something that wasn't pre-warned. We've been warning about this for a long time. You do need this coal power in the system at the moment. There is no replacement for it. There's nothing ready to take over that much. So yeah, good luck for New South Wales and Victoria coming in. I think Queensland might benefit from this. Once again, having large amount of coal firepower, they will be selling it into New South Wales at ridiculous prices, and good on them. They can make money from that, but they're making money from coal. They're not making money from selling solar power to them. So yeah, we'll continue on. Where are we? Christian Porter represents Russian oligarchs with close Putin ties. Is there a Russian oligarch without ties to Putin? Basically, we could do this with any Russian, really. they worked for a company who's got close ties to Putin. What is that? Really? Do we care? Really? Really? What about close ties to China? What about Paul Keating with close ties to China, to communist China? Really? Is this... Anyways, let's continue on. Here's a story you won't see on the ABC. The leaked footage that's coming out. It's not leaked, actually. They handed over the January 6th footage, all of it, to some journalists. Is Fox News, though. So obviously the ABC can't touch that. Evil Fox News. They can't touch it. Even though it is just footage of what actually happened on January 6th, you would think there would be some public interest in that, considering the way that they carried on about the insurrection and all the associated crap that followed that. And here's a great video. So, the January 6th shaman dude, the dude who came in with the horns on his head and things like that, he was actually getting a guided tour. And then they arrested him, and they, really, we need to, this is important information. So when we're talking about value and talent and things that the ABC is supposed to have from all these, they will not report this story. This is actual news. This is actually very important. Were these people guided through the building? Were there people from the federal government in amongst them, provocateurs, stirring up the angst and getting people to come in? That's a story. That's a real story. And the ABC will not cover it. They will not cover it. I've checked their website. I've checked the ABC website. They don't even cover the Twitter files. They're not even covering the uncovering of all this internal documents from Twitter. Even though all of them are on Twitter, they have next to no interest in knowing what was going on. None. Talented. Anyways, let's go back. What else have we got? Jill. The swinging voter. Once again, Jill is a encyclopedia of... she's an encyclopedia of ABC knowledge. I don't think anyone can cover the ABC better than Jill. At all. I don't think there's anyone out there. I don't know how she's organized her system, but she has a database or an archive of everything you could possibly imagine, and no one does it better. Like, it's just phenomenal work. Anyway, so what's she on about here? Albanese lied. He said the policy had changed and sheep trade would not be banned. That's true.
Why has Labor
backs it up with the video?
Live sheep exports, and will you put a timeline as to when that end will take place?
No, we won't, and we haven't in our policy. Our policy's changed. The amount of live exports has halved in recent times, and will continue the summer ban.
Mr. Albanese, hang on, Mr. Albanese.
You've clicked off and then...
No,
I'll
Mr.
come back.
Albanese.
No, I'm in charge. You.
I'm in charge. You.
Mr. Albanese, why has Labor committed to ending live sheep export?
He said they didn't, and once again, it's just a broken promise. These poor farmers, they're screwed. You cannot trust this government at all, especially if you're in the agriculture sector or you live in rural Australia. They do not care about you. They do not care. Look at the way they dealt with Alice Springs. Those problems aren't fixed. Alice Springs is still having trouble now. And it's not just Alice Springs, it's also Darwin. Anything north of Brisbane, basically, all the way across Australia. Draw a line from Brisbane, the Brisbane line. Go with the Brisbane line. And that's basically what they're doing. They're burning everything to the north of Brisbane and just leaving it. It's being destroyed systematically. It's terrible. There's crimes out of control and they haven't fixed it. And then, you know, they come in and hit one of the last productive sectors that's there, besides mining, but they're already hitting that too. So they're coming in and they're attacking that. Next would be tourism. Guaranteed. These people do not care about you if you're not a single mum and if you don't live in the inner cities. They don't care if you're in manufacturing. They don't care if you're a taxi driver. They don't care if you're a hairdresser. They do not give a shit. You know, everything here that they are doing is to extract wealth and to set themselves up to build their own little castles here in the inner cities. All these fringe issues. It's, once again, it's just frustrating. But give Jill a follow. She's fantastic. Michael O'Rourke, the boomer topic. Can we really have a serious discussion about the boomers? I don't think they're all bad. Obviously, we all have boomer parents, probably. We all know a boomer. They're not bad people. They're great people. It's just that the system that has been created by them under the circumstances they were enjoying at the time, those circumstances don't convert to the modern dynamic. So we have a lot of policy impositions that are in place and a lot of rules and regulations that were established under different circumstances. And we really need to adjust those and have a look at them. So in here, the intergenerational equity and blah, 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 blah. Just leave them alone. But on the other side, can you all just retire already? There seems to be a lot of boomers clogging the system. I'm not being harsh, but there seems to be a lot holding up like the upper levels of bureaucracy and that. And guys, you did enough. You can step aside now. It's all right. Okay. Anyways, away from the boomers. Thanks for that one, Michael. Pretty cool. Michael's great. I've been following him for ages. He's a cool guy. Anyways. Carol Baker couldn't care about inflation. Couldn't give a rat's ass about inflation. Yeah, see, this inflation story is interesting. The Australian Institute's probably got the funniest shit that I've ever seen about that, trying to determine that. They released the report where they could specify that inflation was caused by profits. I don't know how they got to that point, but that's well beyond anything that I could lower myself to. I can't get there. I can't mentally twist myself into that situation, but many can, and I'm sure they're hoping many will. Greg Jericho, probably one of the funniest people on here. This is just goldmine of just hilarity. Once again, it shows the complete disconnect between what the inner city fringe issues are, or what the inner city issues are that they think are the central issues to Australia at the moment, versus the reality for most people, especially working families. So what's Greg up to? Yeah, here. They want gas out of the system. Oh, okay, cool, awesome. Well, this is this is a fucking grenade here. If they go ahead and cancel new gas and oil projects or coal projects, there's going to be a shortfall. That shortfall eventually, even on the export markets, that shortfall will be picked up by a competitor who will easily sell it, easily. So there's going to be a shortfall, but locally, the shortfall cannot be filled. So that's blackouts, people. They're just going to be blackouts. It's that simple. They can carry on all they want, but you know, we're approaching this cliff, and we've been warning about this for a very long time now. This has been on the cards for a long time, but once again, they never think past. They have their little fringe circle issues, but they don't think about the people who are actually out working and, you know, trying to make a living, and you know, their bills just keep going up. Everywhere they look, there's someone taking their money. There was someone making more demands, like the ABC staff. They want more pay, blah blah blah. It's insane, you know. But these people never learn too. Even when it fails, these are the people who were behind push factors. Remember push factors? You know, push factors with all the illegal migration that was taking place in the last one. They are still adamant that policy was correct and that they did nothing wrong. That all those thousands of people dying at sea, that's you know, that's just you know, it's a bit of collateral damage. But the overall good was there. You know, the good intent. We felt good about that one. Anyways, Greg's great talent. It's just a pity that he's serious. He should really be a satire account. That's fantastic. 9 News. See, these ones are always 9 News. Yeah. Anyways, wow. Can we have a talk about the people on the ABC wearing masks in their profiles? Like, what the fuck was that all about? Why? Okay, so you can say what you want about the efficacy of masks, and in public, and you know, their ability to control the spread of what was happening. But if you believed that you had to wear a mask on Twitter, yeah, you've got issues. I don't think there's an argument for wearing masks while you're on Twitter. I don't get it, people, but the ABC did. A lot of politicians did that too. There are a lot on both sides of politics that did that, and it's just fucking cringe. It's just cringe. That's all. Pure cringe. it's bad. Anyways, Nick Holt, one of my favorites on here. Nick Holt is great. He's a funny guy, but you know, he's always on point with most of his things and his criticisms. You know, it's fairly it's fairly standard. See, he's saying here, Labor's spending $1 million on a failed Open Society Foundation project, a justice reinvestment for incarcerated Aboriginals. That's true. Open Society Foundation is obviously a George Soros operated NGO. It's famous for funding the migrant crisis into Europe, plus a host of other disasters across America, just around the world. It's a terrible organization, but why are they giving them $100 million to George Soros? $100 million. This is on top of what, $350 million they gave to Bill Gates? Why? When did the ABC staff ask for that? Why did Bill Gates get $350 million? 100 million to George Soros. I think they're both in the top 10 richest people in the world. Yet somehow they need money from the Australian taxpayer. Once again, from taxi drivers, from hairdressers, from teachers. They've got to pay these billionaires. Foreign billionaires too, not even Australian ones. Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's continue on. Stephen Koukoulas. Jesus, man, what's going on here? Not sure why there is a kerfuffle over people working multiple jobs. Average hours worked, green line, remains low. Okay. Why is it better or easier or whatever having one job doing 30 hours than say 2 jobs doing 30 hours? It's the organization involved, Stephen. I'm not sure if you've worked like multiple jobs before. I've done it myself. I do it now. I have multiple jobs. I have multiple income streams. The administrative, for me, the administrative work itself of just doing one of those jobs is enough. That's a lot. But then combining it plus the logistics involved in getting around and doing different things, calling different people, operating in different languages, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. And the situation is that people are doing a second job or taking on a second job because the cost of living is too high. People won't be taking on a second job because they enjoy it. They're taking on a second job because they need to. Now, there might be some people out there who actually have a second job because it's a hobby. You know, maybe a sports broadcaster who writes a column on the weekend. Maybe they don't need the money or that. They just do it because they love it. But that's a very small percentage. The majority of people who have a second job are doing it because they need the money. So if they're working a second job, it is more difficult. You know, that's two places you have to be at. That's two different schedules. They might be across different sides of the town. You might have kids and you have to arrange childcare or drop them off at a friend's place or something like that on the way. It's an extra burden on your life, and Stephen can't understand that. He doesn't understand that, and he is one of Labor's guiding lights when it comes to economic policy. So keep that in mind. I guess he would, I wonder if Stephen's eligible for the paid parental leave. He probably is, maybe. I'm not sure. Ben Pyle, that's not too bad. What's going on here with the release of the internal text messages between the UK's health chief at the time during their COVID lockdowns and the way that COVID proceeded from that point. This is crazy. And as bad as this is, I think it's relatively mild to what we would find if we started digging around. We already know that they were doing, even in Queensland, the Queensland government, Anastasia Palaszczuk, was doing hiring polling companies and focus groups to guide her COVID strategy. It wasn't based on science. It wasn't based on anything but fear and focus groups. And I think if we dug into this, we've got to see it eventually. We've got to. You can't do that to everyone. You can't do that to an entire global economy and everyone involved and expect no one's going to look at it afterwards. Let's have a look. Let's see what you're doing. Where are the emails? Let's see the contracts. Where are the emails? Let's get it all out. Let's see what you're doing. Throughout these 2 years, you kept us locked down under ridiculous circumstances. Let's have a look. This is a huge story. This is going to blow up. If we can get even just a glimpse of what was going on, we can try to fix the system for next time. That's the important thing here. We can't continue as if like nothing happened and it was all hunky-dory. It wasn't. It was awful. What we did to people was terrible. We need to know what these public officials were doing. RBA, RBA is going to keep raising rates. This is going to go up. It's going to hit 4.5, I think. I think their target's probably about 4.5. It depends. If, as Kook was saying, Kookoulas, if people keep taking second jobs and third jobs, it's good for the unemployment figures, and it's not good for much else. Cost of living is out of control, and let's not forget that cost of living was the top priority for both Labor and Liberal voters going into the election in 2022. Cost of living was by far the biggest concern. Since then, rates have kept going up, spending's increased, giving $100 million to George Soros, $300 million to Bill Gates. What happened to the $50 million they gave Sri Lanka? Remember that one? They gave Sri Lanka $50 million and then Sri Lanka collapsed the next day. Like, Jesus Christ, what was going on there? What happened to that one? I don't know. Zion Lights pushing more nuclear power, and I think that's really an interesting scenario in itself. The situation of the nuclear industry in Germany is really just the renewables push itself is a great test case for Australia to learn from, but we can't learn from it because the people who are pushing it and are in power are ideological zealots. They will never get there. They'll never understand what's actually going on. They just want one way, it's their way, and they're blinded by anything else. Anything else at all that contradicts their narrative must be shut down or ignored. But yes, and Germany's struggling under that. They should have just increased their nuclear fleet like France. France is only 100 kilometers away. That's the funny thing, is that Germans objected and they tried to shut down their nuclear plants. But when the wind doesn't blow, there are nuclear plants just on the other side of the border who are sending their power across into Germany. So Germany's still using nuclear power. It's just not on German soil. It's like the ultimate nuclear NIMBYism. It's once again a hallmark of the fanatical Greens and their religious push for like net zero. It's not even net zero. It's just zero. It's just fucking zero. No energy for anyone. Yeah. Can't really get into that at all. Okay, a new study has ranked Australian cities and districts based on their survivability in the event of a zombie apocalypse, with Perth ranking 4th and Hobart the least suitable. Well, I think Perth's probably ranking 4th there. And what's number 1? Okay, so the best to worst city, Brisbane. Yeah, I've been to Brisbane. I think, I know Brisbane pretty well. I just think Brisbane would probably rank the best because they've got the most experience here. They've probably got the most experience. If you go into New Farm and start going up and down Brunswick Street, is there any difference between a zombie apocalypse and what's happening there? Sydney, Sydney would be all right, I think. Just because they've got the harbour. Can zombies swim? I don't think they can. You could just get in the water, get on a boat, get out in the harbour. Melbourne, well, yeah, they've got the experience as well. I'd expect Melbourne to be a bit higher on that list. But anyways, Hobart's probably the worst. Yeah, you're not going to survive in Hobart for too long. Get out of the cities, people. If you're living in a city, do your best to get away from the cities. They're not healthy places. They're not designed with people's health in mind. They're not a good place to be. If you can, get out. It's not worth being there. Let's continue on. Sky News. There is speculation Former Prime Minister Scott Morrison may retire from Parliament by the end of this year, potentially for a consulting job overseas, according to Sky News political editor Andrew Clennell. Who cares? I don't care. The only thing I could say about Morrison resigning is he should time it. He should time it for later this year. 4.5% interest rates, I think, around that point. Just right as the wheels are falling off the elbow wagon. I think we're almost there at the moment. I think we're very close. And once those wheels start to rattle and squeak, it's all downhill very fast from there. So couple more months. We got the May budget coming up. We'll see what that does. But I think the interest rates, once again, cost of living, it's going to cripple this government. And if you're running around with the Australia Institute fucking modelling saying that it's due to profits, you're not on a good track. It's not going to save you. That's not going to save you. That's wishful thinking at best. Let's continue on. And no generation, more boomers. Can we let's see if there's some more ABC stuff here. Oh, The Voice, Linda Burney. Jesus Christ. Remember The Voice, everyone? Remember The Voice? Jesus Christ. They're still pushing this shit. Really? There's no sign of like the indulgence of the inner city wank class than The Voice. Really, this isn't going to fix a problem. They've created a solution for a problem that they've also created themselves, and it's not going to be helpful. It's not beneficial for anyone, no matter how they spin it, no matter how many self-interested people they get on board. They've got the whole Aboriginal industry behind them trying to enshrine their grift into the Constitution. I don't think that's going to help anyone but them. It's fairly simple. Linda Burney's really unimpressive as a person, as a politician. This quota system, the quota system is going to collapse on itself as it is, At least we can share the blame around equally and in a diverse manner. Anyways, Dave Hughes has shared the scary moment he was approached by two large men over a joke he told on the project. Okay. Wow. Okay. More January 6th footage. Yeah, that's all cool. We're almost there. Almost getting through this part. What the fuck is Susan Lee doing here? Jesus Christ. Susan Lee dresses up as Tina Turner in Parliament. Okay. That's interesting. Does she look like Tina Turner though? She looks more like Dermot Brereton. You know, she looks more like yeah, she's got more of that going on. Or John Farnham actually. She looks a lot more like a Farnham and a Brereton hybrid. Getting a Susan Lee out there. Susan Brereton. Oh, here we go. Here's part of the problem. So Jill, once again, all over it. As I said, ABC expert. The ABC talented staff, you know, this is one thing that ABC do. They hire their staff in their key positions, not internally. They hire them from outside. So Laura Tingle, for instance, after the ABC basically white-entered and gutted Fairfax Media, Laura Tingle left there and went to the ABC because the ABC couldn't find anyone better in the 3,000 people who work at the ABC, couldn't find anyone better than someone from a failed media company. That's half the problem, you know, and she would have been put on a good salary, and those young cadets at the ABC that could have, you know, moved up a rank and they could have boosted them through, but no, they take people like Laura Tingle, David Spears. I don't mind David Spears, but why can't the ABC bring through their own talent? Why do they have to hire this outside talent? Like, that's really, really bad. And she already had a career too. She has a career. She's established. She's gone through. If she can't cut her own way in the market at the moment, then what chance does a cadet have or a graduate? Like, you know, that's a waste. That's the biggest problem with the ABC is this. It's just a bureaucratic mess, and it's a retirement home for otherwise unemployable people. Like, get them out of there. There's young kids in there. You'll probably have Laura Tingle. Laura Tingle's probably on about $300K a year, plus benefits and, you know, their iPhone every year or whatever it's in their contract. That could probably pay for at least three graduates to come through. And do you reckon Laura Tingle does a better job than them? I don't think it's worth that much. You know, 3 people versus 1. Laura Tingle, come on. Now yeah, anyways, Laura's going to go for the ABC media representative or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, good work, Laura. Yeah, right in there. Christian, very funny economist. German one of all that. But let's see. Conspiracies. Forget the conspiracy theories. 15-minute neighborhoods are popular in Britain. Here's what amenities do. Here's what amenities do Britain want within 15-kilometre walk of their home. A bus stop, okay, a 50-minute walk from their home, sorry. A bus stop, a post box, a pharmacy, GP surgery. Yeah, that's basically it. But get out of the cities, people. It's not helpful. They're going to do this, you know. They're going to restrict you, and they're going to put bike lanes running through your house. Basically, they're going to seal off your driveway so they can put another bike lane through, and you can't park anywhere. And then you got to park out of the city, and it's 15 minutes away, and then you can't actually go anywhere. Yeah, don't be around these people. The inner cities, you know the way they vote. You know the way these people think. Don't be around them. You know, you have to move away from these people. They're not your friend. Well, they might actually be, some of them, but they don't have your best interests at heart. Get out of there. You know, be around people that you can relate to, who actually respect you and your opinions, you know, and will leave you alone, for Christ's sake. Julie Collins, once again, quotas. They'll collapse on themselves. Very unimpressive person. What's she pushing? A Housing Australia Future Fund. Housing Australia Future Fund isn't building houses. They're just putting money into a fund, so they hope people will build houses for them. They could just invest this money into building houses. I don't know why they don't do that. Why don't they just go and buy houses? Just go buy some houses that currently exist on the market. Hire some builders to build some houses. But no, they got to create a huge bureaucracy behind it, a huge fund, another huge waste, so they can pretend they're doing something. She's not doing anything. But poor Julie probably didn't write this policy. She doesn't write his speeches. You know, she's just told what to do because got to meet the quota. Leo's probably one of the stars of Twitter. He is a star of definitely Australian political Twitter. And he's doing it himself. And he's right here. He's right. He's right with Lisa Miller. Like, fair enough, Lisa Miller's on ABC. She's just a presenter. She doesn't really have, much to do with what she's reading. It's put up on a little screen for her to read and things like that. But I don't think she should be attacked like as openly as she is. And when the ABC gets attacked like this, and when you see the stories about Lisa Miller getting abused and threatened and just awful stuff, they never say who's actually doing it, because this is coming from the left. This is coming from the far left of the ABC's little nurtured and cultured echo chamber. It's coming from them, so they'll never say it. If this was a Christian group, if this was the Australian Christian Lobby launched an attack on Lisa Miller, it would be that would be the headline. Far right Christian nationalists are attacking ABC's favorite on-air talent. But they don't do that. They keep it all. They just say she's being attacked. Oh, it's online abuse. Oh, we got to go after people being mean to people online, and it's not. And in a fair way, the ABC's created this culture themselves by isolating opinions, maintaining the little bubble view, and sympathy's there. It shouldn't happen to Lisa, but can we at least report on what's actually happening here, not what they would like you to know? What else we got here? Oh, Zali Steggall, fuck me, Jesus Christ. Okay, 1,000 super emitting methane leaks risk triggering climate tipping point. We need to crack down on methane leaks. We have the technology. We just need better regulation. Is there any idea or policy that Zali Steggall has advocated that isn't just a Karen-based, let's cancel this, let's ban it? Everything she does is about control. Everything she has, every free thought is about restrictions, regulations, controls, more taxes. It's never about freeing people up. Once again, these are the inner city fringe elements that they don't care about you. They don't care. 1,000 super emitting methane leaks coming up. Yeah, sure. Okay. Joe Biden just blew up Nord Stream. Do you know how much methane that released? It was like something like 300,000 tons, I think it was. Something like that. It was a ridiculous, it might have just been 300 tons. It was a ridiculous amount. And that just went up. That was the biggest release last year of methane. I think it was combined, like with everything else combined. But methane's a byproduct of the gas industry. Methane's also a byproduct of the agriculture industry. So that's where this is heading. If she can come in and say, oh, methane's the next big thing, you know where they're going to apply that? They're going to apply that straight into agriculture. They're going to go after agriculture. They'll go after farming, anything where methane is released. Anywhere. That's the end goal. That's where they're going to push with this one. And Zali Steggall's just so unimpressive. It's, we've got issues, and Zali Steggall's got hers. Let's just leave it at that one. Jill, once again, someone needs to get that woman checked out by a doctor or check into a nice little soft room for a little holiday. Why is Shy doing those weird movements behind Albanese in Question Time? Okay, so it's obviously Shy by Sarah Hanson-Young. I'm not sure what's going on there, Jill. Maybe you can fill us in. Okay. Fat blue tongue lizard. Bowder. Bowder's one of my favorites getting around. Always out in the good parts of Australia. Everywhere from the Brisbane line north. I like seeing content from up there. I'm naturally from up there. I love that area. That's my, they're my peoples. I love it up there. Look at this blue tongue. Yeah, that's cool. I love these lizards. Yeah, that's a cool one. Nice work, Bowder. Keep it up. They didn't do nothing. Yeah, once again, we have these issues in the in the rural areas of Australia with violence. There's violence, drugs, and alcohol, and these issues aren't going to be solved by embedding a grievance industry into the Constitution. That doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. It's a stupid idea, and Linda Burney just. Oh my God, history is not going to look nice on her either. good news of the day: income inequality is decreasing. That's true. Income inequality is decreasing, and you'll never hear about it. There is more potential for upward mobility than ever before. As I was saying before with the ABC staff, if they're talented, they can go into the open market, and the barriers to entry to produce and release content of your own making it's almost non-existent now. Everyone has a smartphone. You can make a video, you can do your own things, and if it's good, the market will pay you. People will pay you for it. If it's valuable, you can do it, and that mobility is, that's a treasure. We got to hold on to that. And once again, 50-minute cities. What do you think that does to our mobility? That's where a lot of the push against those type of ideas come from. Chris Mins, well, Jesus Christ. Me and James had a little tweet interaction before about the guitar. We're both guitarists, and I'm a particular fan of the Gibson guitars. I love Gibson. I love the brand. Chris Mins, yeah, he played a little bit of AC/DC, but it's the guitar of choice, really. As James said, it looks brand new. It does look brand new, so I don't think it's got much work, but just the Cherry Burst, dude. Like, who buys the Cherry Burst? I don't know. Some people might, and it's so glam rock. It's so terrible. Give it to Susan Lay so she can take that into Parliament. You know, that would be cool. That would be really cool. But yeah, Rachel Withers, this girl herself. This is up there with Greg. This is up there. This is right up there. Jesus, she's a laugh. It should be a satirical parody account, but it's real. That's you don't get value like that anywhere else. Yeah, Crazy Cat ladies. They're just never-ending source of entertainment. Okay, the Greens. What are we onto here? Australia had a whopping 7 methane super emitter events from fossil fuels in 2020, mostly from dodgy coal mines. Okay, I've read through the report. I think it was the IEA released their report on methane emissions. It doesn't really stipulate too much. I'd say like the majority of methane that's being released is actually coming from, operations that are well outside of Australia. If you have a look, Nord Stream for one. But especially flaring in America and obviously Russia. But there's a lot, even through the Middle East. The amount of gas flares going off in the Persian Gulf itself is remarkable. Like, it's phenomenal. Once again, the Greens don't care. They just want to shut down everything. You can't take them seriously. Okay, Balinese are fed up with badly behaved tourists. They've announced plans to ensure guests king but don't abuse. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Well done, Herald Sun. Top work. I like the picture, but yeah, maybe that does, right? Okay, I'm not going there. The Twindenberg. If we're doing mandates, then the crossbench in the Senate has a mandate to push for adequate legislation rather than rubber stamp Labor's SOP to the fossil fuel industry, of which old mate Wayne is a paid up member. Yep, they're eating themselves. So Labor's whole policy is being attacked from the left once again, and that's the angle the ABC will push. They'll only ever attack Labor from the left. They'll attack Labor from this perspective. They're not left enough. So they all pretty much they all agree that Western civilization, Australia in particular, but Western civilization is fundamentally evil. It's a bad thing to happen, the worst thing to ever happen to the world. They just disagree about how to fix it. That's all. They just disagree about what's the worst aspect of it. It's never the proper aspect. So if you cut out future gas projects in Australia, you have revenues are going to collapse. Government revenues are going to collapse, and solar panels don't bring in that revenue. They don't bring in royalties for you. And no matter how much we say this, they still don't understand. They'll never understand. They'll never get it. They can't get it through their head because they're in a cult. It's just a death cult. Once again, Chris Bowen, you told Parliament the steel industry doesn't have the technology available to reduce emissions without offsets. It does in Sweden. Give industry incentives to innovate, not emit. Yeah, okay. I thought, yeah, for the last 15 years, haven't they been against innovation? You know, the only innovation they've got is innovative ways to screw over the electricity system. That's the innovative ways that they've come up with. Oh, we're going to reinvent a power line. We need 30,000 kilometers of new power lines that only operate 30% of the time. Like, that's innovative solutions coming at you. Your money going to waste. Jesus, getting sad. Nick McKim, once again, back in the greens, talking about the RBA. I bet you he's got to reference the okay, the RBA has just raised interest rates again. It has. It's the first time in Australia history that there have been 10 consecutive rate rises. It is responding to a problem it admits it doesn't understand with a solution that it admits is the wrong tool. It is institutional madness. No, it's not. The RBA is doing its job. This is the job of the RBA. You can say that it didn't do its job previously, and sure, there's plenty of room there to go after them for not doing their job properly previously. But this is their job. They have one instrument to use, and that's interest rates, and that's what they're doing. They're reacting to what they're seeing in front of them, not what they believe they're seeing. You know, they're reacting to what the numbers that are coming in, and that's the tool they got. That's the job they've got to do. Nick, they know. These politicians know that cost of living is at the top priority of everyone, besides obviously them. And cost of living it's not going to get better. It's just getting worse. It's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and they're ignoring it. More money to Bill Gates, more money to George Soros. Jesus. This story I did see come out. The Australia faces threat of war with China within 3 years. And we're not ready. Well, we're not ready. But once again, I think any possible conflict in or with China will be over a territorial dispute. It will be either over Taiwan, or I'm starting to think possibly more infringements into the South China Sea, particularly in and around Vietnam. I think that might have the potential to really fire some things up. I know we have a lot of emphasis gets placed on our relationship with Taiwan and any alliance and any protection plan basically that we'll put in for Taiwan, but I think we need to think about the other smaller countries in that region who are also threatened, especially Vietnam and the Philippines. These are countries who, you know, they're not scared. Vietnam fought a long, hard war for its own independence, even though it was communist and blah, 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 but they're still trying. They hate communist China more than anyone, I think. So if there's a dispute in the South China Sea, it's very likely that Vietnam could not step back. They might fire back. They might get violent. And then what do we do? You know, are we going to let China just attack Vietnam over that? They're the difficult relationships that currently exist in this situation. Yeah, and it's just weird that Paul Keating seems to be the expert they always go to. Anyways, let's continue. Current affair, Australia's top police team. Yeah, who cares? Remember the Lindt siege? Remember how long it took him just to shoot that dude? Oh, Jesus Christ, that was a shit show, wasn't it? Didn't the ABC have some fantastic work in that one as well? Anyways, Robodebt. What I get and what I love about Robodebt itself is that they're so good at highlighting the inadequacies, the failures, the outright just disregard for other people within the bureaucracy. But then it stops. Then they don't realize they can't carry this forward. They can't apply that to a broader picture that, hang on, maybe this is the way bureaucracy works. Maybe instead of empowering it more to have more power, maybe we need to rethink the social contract or rethink what we need from our bureaucracy. Do we need these giant systems in place? Can we digitize? Can we digitize a lot of this? I think we can. I think we can do a great job of it. But they get very close. They always get very close to uncovering this. But the only aspect they're interested in is how can we attack the Liberals for this? Not, okay, the bureaucrats did all these terrible things. They enacted this. This was their decisions. This is their policy that they ran and implemented. Maybe we should cut back on the bureaucracy or look at the ways that the power structure works inside these organizations. No. It's just attack the Liberals, ignore the problem. That's why I can't see Robodebt going anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to end in anything but another bureaucracy to look after the bureaucracy. That's all. What does constitutional recognition and a voice to Parliament mean to Australian First People? Once again, not getting into this one. Media Watch. Is it just me, or does this dude look like that weird? What's his name? Is it Paul Barry? Does he look like that weird trans pedo groomer on TikTok? They look almost identical. I swear they're the same person. But Media Watch, here we go. So this is the ABC again. Media Watch. This dude's probably on a good salary. He's old. Why is he still there? Is there no one else in the ABC who can do this job? I don't think so. He's there. He does a 15-minute show per week, and he's paid a salary. Like, he's paid on a yearly for a 15-minute show each week. Leo from 6 News does a better job than this, and he does it. We don't pay him anything. And this guy, like, why? I don't get it. Okay, Jill back on. Blah blah blah. Oh, we're getting around to the start again. Back to Zali. Zali's pushing more things. So let's see what she wants to ban now. Australian Conservation Foundation and Climate Council. Oh my God, two great stellar organisations there. You know, they're experts. Experts there. They want. They say the government climate action agenda untenable. Government can't approve new coal and gas. Yeah, they can approve it. They can. And there's nothing stopping them from doing it, and they really should do it because otherwise the economy is going to collapse. The Australian Conservation Foundation and Climate Council, who cares? Who cares what they think? They're not voters. They're these blob organizations funded by people like George Soros or Bill Gates to do this to our economies. These aren't voters. These aren't real people, and they push them around as some type of expert and some type of authority figure on this. They're not. Anyways, I think we're almost there. The last one's here, coming into Charlotte King. What's here? Oh my God. No one loves the ABC more than themselves. Thrilled to tell important stories across the country for our public broadcaster. But regional Germans work like Trojans and deserve to be remunerated accordingly with fair pay progression that allows them to stay in the communities they love. Everyone deserves that. You know, but that's not reality. You know, sometimes in different industries, different markets, you know, especially coming from the ABC themselves, who are all about transitioning. Oh, we have to transition the economy. When was the last time the ABC transitioned to the modern economy? Can we do that? Can we get them transitioning? Do you think they'll like that? I don't think this is going to be very helpful. But yeah, regional journals, they work like Trojans. Yeah, we saw what happened. So Alice Springs, they have regional journos at the Alice Springs Town Hall meeting that was going on. They were in the building. They were reporters in the building, the local ones there. The ABC didn't run with that. They flew in their, once again, diversity hire, their quota. They flew her in from Sydney. She couldn't get into the meeting because she couldn't find the building, and then she was late, and then the doors were already locked. So she interviewed people outside who said the whole building was filled with white supremacists. That's the local content. That's the local journos when they're talking here. Like, there's waste there. There's structural problems in the ABC that need to be addressed. You know, it needs to transition. I'm 100% sure it needs to transition. You can't have a 1950s business model in the 2023. You can't do that. It's retarded. It's indulgent. It's a luxury we can't afford anymore. Enough. yeah, let's just, if the ABC just got rid of everyone over the age of 60, everyone over the age of 40, basically, there's no need for anyone over the age of 40 to still be employed at the national broadcaster. I can't see the purpose for that. What if you haven't made it by the age of 40 and you can't stand on your own 2 feet? Give someone else a go. You know, let someone else in there. Give them a go. There's a lot of talent in there. Like, I'm sure. Oh, here we go, Paige again. Jesus, why do they always look the same? Oh my God. Often it feels like ABC survives on the goodwill of its staff. We care so much about the product. We just suck up the stress and endless overtime. Oh my fucking God. Can you actually deal with it? Can you stand these people? Oh my God. Just shut it down. Just get it off us. Anyways, people, I think that's just about it. It was just my rant. I've got a free time this morning. I might try to do this a little bit later as well. But in the meantime, if you've got any stories or anything you would like me to talk about, just send it through. Don't forget to also follow Jill. Get in there. Follow Anthony Dillon. He's a great guy. Yeah, and I think I'll leave it there for now. So have fun, have a good day, have a good night, or whatever you do for the rest of it. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Peace.